Hello and welcome to Infobox TV. Today we are discussing the Infoboxdaily Sikaman Awards, and I have with me some very interesting people that I'll introduce to you pretty shortly. They'll tell us about what actually the Infobox Sikaman Daily is all about, and then we'll launch into the details of that. So here we go. We have Nana Awere Damoah. He's the one who compiled and edited it. Hi Nana, that's Nana. Then we have also social observers to help us discuss the awards. Olga Vladimir Bushovoy. Is that right? Olga. That's it. All right. That's good. And then we have Kwamijan, the very famous Kwamijan, and the only honorable on Facebook. Only honorable on Facebook.
International
Honorable Rodney from Awards. Hello. So guys, welcome. We're going to have a very interesting discussion. I can sense it in my spirit already. All right. So Nana, tell us, what really is this Infoboxdaily Sikaman Awards?
A lot of things happened during the year. So this started off as a way of capturing the events that occurred during a particular year. Also to capture the interesting personalities and help us to basically capture our history. But you realize that a lot of things happen, and it also has a twist, a touch of satire, so that when we laugh, we remember and we also learn. Let's
go into the awards itself. Now there are about 20 of them here. The first one, the most anti-climax moment of the year. The announcement by Aite Powers that he wasn't going to fight Bukumbanku again after all the hype. I mean,
well, you know what happened with that one. It was as though all of a sudden he realized that, okay, this guy can just beat me up, so let me just find some excuse. What did he say? That his pastor said he shouldn't fight on his same day, and all of that. But end of the day, he came and then he was like, he's beating up, right? But I think the exciting part was the fact that to me it brought boxing to life in Ghana again.
Yeah.
For a long time there hasn't been anything about boxing, just some boring fights here and there. But this was the fight that I said to myself, look, I'm going to buy a ticket, go to ringside and watch this fight. It didn't happen.
But some say it was also a strategy to hype it.
Well, I mean, it was a good one, really. I mean, the thing is, boxing has been good for us in Ghana, but over the past few years, it's been almost dormant.
I think that, in terms of value as the fight itself, it was quite a disappointment, really. In terms of boxing, boxing, but in terms of the
drama
surrounding it. Look, come to think of it, it's like a lot of things we do in this country, really, isn't it? I mean, there's lots of hype about lots of things that go on in this country, and then when it comes to the real meat, you realize that there's not much.
The next one, that's the most popular phrase. Are you my koiko? Never mind. And Ethiopia are the contenders. The winner is Ethiopia.
And link that one to the song of the quarter.
Really?
Lumbe's song.
Yes.
I mean, hey.
So that was the song of the quarter. That is Lumbe's song.
Yeah, so the expression in the song. No, just last week the president and the people were dancing to Ethiopia.
I think the content of the song, Ethiopia, I have a Nigerian friend who says, Ethiopia. How he says it. And so everybody sings it. Everybody, it's something, you go to a party, it's dull, the music comes up and everybody jumps on to their feet. Yeah. And then it becomes a political issue as well because, Ethiopia, for someone in authority, the presumption is that they are not a listening person and that sort of thing. And I think it's quite interesting the way music dovetails into politics, and all that.
And this co-equal thing.
Are you my co-equal?
Yes.
It was big.
It's a strong, big. But interestingly enough, nobody knows to date who said
The tweet of the year. It says we have a tie here. So both tweets by Ghana's foreign minister in respect of the Occupy Flagstaff House demonstration on 1st July. She tweeted, Occupy Flagstaff House crowd. The numbers were, well, never mind. And their social media campaign was much more effective than the actual turnout. The counter tweets were equally memorable. The two top responses were, your campaign was better than your governance. And if government acted with some same swiftness with which you tweeted about Occupy Flagstaff House turnout, Ghana would have been a better place. Ghana they be.
It is
classic response.
I mean, I was at the Flagstaff House thing. I came from Kumasi and I had my red top there. But there were two things that settled on my mind. One was quite disappointing. the fact that this has never happened in this country before, and it also the power of modern social media. I mean, I think there were some jitters in government about is it going to be an Arab Spring as well, you know, because a lot of things have happened in other countries through social media. It's been a very, very powerful one. Governments like the Chinese government are very, very, you know, scared, to use the word, about social media. So for me, the significant thing was that people who otherwise would not go on demonstrations, who otherwise would not go on rallies, turned up there. And I thought that was significant. People were determined not to have any political, there was not a single political memorabilia inside.
I think it tells us of the effect of social media.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's you may want to say that, okay, how many Ghanaians are on social media? Maybe just like under a million, but who are those million? Who are those million?
They are influencers.
And how have traditional media and social media married? Most of you guys in the mainstream media now do your stories, and we hear about it on social media.
Absolutely.
Not in the newspaper or on the radio.
I mean,
on Facebook.
People get their media. I mean, I've spoken to a number of people who say they get their news from social media.
Oh, of course.
You know, and they get their updates because it's easier to digest. People are free to write what they, you have citizen journalists over there. There's no censorship, and so they are able to get to the real meat of what
I'm thinking that maybe at some point in time, it's about time that at the government level we get some kind of policy on social media. I doubt if there's any.
There's none.
I doubt it. So it's about time that we said, okay, once you are a known member of government, you should know what you tweet about.
Absolutely.
So we need to.
Okay, so now money transfer.
Hollywood style.
As at early June, about 3 weeks ahead of the World Cup, we knew the final selection of players would go. We did not plan for that. Promises had been made to these boys at various friendlies, and I think at a point it came down to an issue of principle, not the money. They say and say, look, you have to pay me the money because God knows that if they had had enough. And so I think that the issue comes down to how come a whole nation cannot plan properly ahead? And it comes back again, you know, just a quick aside about this whole of the chairs for the parliament. And one of the excuses they gave was that time was short. Excuse me, we have known since September 2012 that we were going to have 275 MPs. They were going to need, we're going to need extra space. We're going to need officers. And we wait till the last week, then we say, oh, Ghanaian cabinets cannot produce within that time frame. So I think it comes down, you know, I'll shift it away from the players and bring it down to those at the center of the planning and say, you know, how come this 3.5 million, if it was sitting at the Bank of Ghana, why did it not go out earlier than it did?
Let's move on. Campaign of the year. The anti-bribery campaign launched by the IGP.
Oh my God. Has anyone seen them with a band?
I haven't.
I think they just find their way.
No, but recently there was an announcement that we should not give them bribes anymore. There was
we should not tempt them
in
with
quarter four.
Yes,
that they won't accept again.
Right, so most popular corporate entity of the year.
Please. I think one of the things that we do as a people is that we find ways of making ourselves happy.
Absolutely. But it is.
Because trust me, for like 3 days I didn't have any power in my house. I was afraid my leaks was going bad. It was terrible. But here still, there are certain things that you just read about it and like, okay, look at it. If you don't laugh, we get crazy in this country.
We now have a Ministry of Power and a Ministry of Energy. And I understand that the Ministry of Power is for SO and the Energy is for it's pretty annoying when you're also expecting the lights to go off and then it doesn't go off.
That's stressful.
So the very final award for this year, that's why it deserves a special mention. Very special one. Movement of the year. Guess.
With some elaboration.
You're asking me.
Yeah, so that movement of the year, that's the part of that movement.
Wow. The ladies who roast plantain. You realize that they don't do the plantain throughout the year. They change to corn. And then they change to something else depending on what is in season.
Oh, I see.
Roasted yam.
Yes. Yam, they can go to yam, they can go to corn, they come to plantain. But I like the video because the guy just paused and said, "You're asking me how I survived."
And his 5 children.
Yes,
five children.
And
I love the grammar.
But the guy said,
Because the important thing is that he's communicating. And so he's not fixated about getting his grammar. And no. Forget about all that. The important thing is, Asema Mekeni, I am getting there. You are reading me.
There are these guys at the Presbyterian Church.
Yes.
They do not have a shop.
Right.
They do not. They do not have stock. So you give them your list. They hit the shops and they give you a bench to sit on, and then
personal shoppers.
Yes, and then they put their cuts on it, and then they bring it to you. Now it saves you the walking around all the shops,
That's what the guy calls elaboration.
Yeah.
Elaborate yourself.
The rest of the awards that we didn't talk about.
So we had the miracle of the year. Then we also had the physical assault of the year. Buntari's slap.
I like that actually. I mean, I'll go first.
And then the hashtag was also interesting. Bring back our girls.
Yes.
And we still don't have them, which is really sad. And the missing plane.
Malaysian.
And then
I like number 12. The most difficult item to predict, Tumamoto Way.
Right.
Roads, street lights, bridges. The only aspect going well on the Tumamoto Way is the collection of stones.
Yeah.
That is the promise of the year.
Oh,
My good friend Ablakwa.
But somebody doesn't make promises. He reacts to statements.
Reactor of the year.
So reactor of the year.
So that has been the Infoboxdaily Sikaman Awards. It's been an interesting discussion. Thank you all for coming. We should be doing this often. Yeah, we should be doing this often. All right. So thank you so much for watching Infobox TV. Bye bye.